Master, the tempest is raging. Oh, the billows are tossing high. The sky is overshadowed with blackness. Oh, no shelter is nigh. Careless, thou not that we perish. Oh, how can thou lie asleep? It seems like each moment so many.
We want to ask you a couple questions, Ms. Campbell. How did you get started in music?
My mother started us in music. All of us play, myself, my brother, and my sister. I started playing at the age of 5. I had my first job at the age of 13, playing for a church in Chicago, and my lessons paid for me continuing my music lessons. I kept that job till I went away to college. After returning to Chicago, graduating from school and whatever, I took a job. I was asked to come and play at a church. I became the organist for Memorial Missionary Baptist Church. I later became the pianist. I also became, sang in the choir, was an assistant director, became minister of music and then director of music. But I wanted something on the ministry side. I wanted something on the spiritual gift side. And I wanted to trace our music all the way back to Africa. I went all the way back to the Bible, the biblical purpose of music ministry, of praise and worship. And I brought it all the way back to America from Africa, and how we brought our rhythms and our music and our song and our story. We weren't like the Jews who said they couldn't sing in a strange land. We made the music and we became the standard for folk music in this country. There is not a genre of music that did not come from our enslaved ancestors, because they said slaves were not intelligent enough to do the spirituals, and spirituals are the basis of the gospel music and everything else. But it came from us, although Sankey and Moody and a few others did gospel singing in their camp meetings. It is definitely us, the rhythm. Now, you can throw a few Dr. Watts and line meters in here and say, okay, we have a little European flavor. This is strictly us. But I wanted it to reach our children more than anything. Now, in Chicago, the children barely know James Cleveland's name. Very few of them know who Thomas Dorsey was. And he's the father of gospel music. I wanted musicians, especially 21st century musicians, to understand, as Albertina Walker used to say, the shoulders of the people they stand on. They have no idea of those who paved the way in gospel music. They have no idea of the prejudice they went through, of how their money was taken after shows and the people would run off with their money, how they had to sleep in their cars and get their food out of windows. They have no idea, because they can go into a concert hall and get top billing. But they have to understand somebody had to do the hard work. It's like Jackie Robinson did in baseball and others did in basketball and football. Thomas Dorsey, James Cleveland, the Caravans, I can go on and on and on. Did it for us in gospel music. And gospel music ministry has a message. It's about salvation. It is the sung gospel. And it will bring people to Christ who will never go inside a church.
I'm looking for, oh yes I am.
You'll get the history of our people from the time they came to the United States and you'll get in-depth interviews from griots, and I call them griots, gospel griots, those who have been in gospel music ministry 50 plus years. I didn't want anyone.
Oh, he's yes, sir.
Plus years. I didn't want anyone contemporary. And they will tell you the story, the history, the meaning. What I love about Dr. Margaret DeRoe is that she says the choir is not to outshine the minister. What I like about Stephen Roberts is that he wants the musicians to know that they accompany the choir. And what I like about Dolores Barrett Campbell is how gospel music was never something that was appreciated in terms of them being paid. They did it for the love. They did it for the Lord. So I want those who read it now to know a part of their history that they never heard about. It's not taught. It's not taught in the churches. I would like to see this in Christian education departments. I'd like to see it in vacation Bible schools and definitely in music workshops for choirs.